Hello friends, this is class 6th revision lesson 1 A Tale of Two Birds, which is from A Pact with the Sun book. Grammar lesson 19 Paraphrasing and Summary, and lesson 4 Adjectives. So today we are going to revise all these three chapters for our assignment and test. Points to be covered in today's class. Number 1. Summary of lesson 1 A Tale of Two Birds of A Pact with the Sun book will be done. Summary of lesson 4 Adjectives of P.C. Wren's grammar book will be done. Then third, summary of lesson 19, that is paraphrasing and summary of P.C. Wren's grammar. Paraphrasing and summary is the name of lesson, will be explained. Then homework will be assigned, and at last discussion of previous homework will be done as it is done every time. Now lesson 1 A Tale of Two Birds. Before we begin with the lesson, you must know the meaning of the title of the lesson, that is A Tale of Two Birds. Tale means story, a short story. So this is a short story of two birds. This lesson is going to be summarized through value points. Number 1 is that a mother bird and her two young ones lived in a forest. Means there was a mother bird and her two young ones, newborn babies, in a forest. They had a nest in a tall shady tree, and there the mother bird took care of her little ones day and night. One day there was a big storm. There was thunder, lightning and rain, and the wind blew down many trees. The tall tree in which the birds lived also came down. A big heavy branch hit the nest and killed the bird. Fortunately means luckily for the baby birds, the strong wind blew them away to the other side of the forest. Means in that very storm, that was very huge, that was very furious storm, in that storm the mother was killed in a storm, and the young ones were separated from each other. Each of them found a different home because they were being separated by that furious storm, and that storm separated both the birds, and each of them found a different home at different places. Once the king went to the forest to hunt. Means there was a king of the country. Once he went to the forest to hunt. As he was chasing deer, he was fond of deer, he was trying to hunt a deer who was moving there, and he was blindly chasing that deer, he was blindly following that deer. He lost his way, and after some time when the king got tired, he thought to take rest under a tree because he could not get his way back to his home. That how could he go back to his home? So when he got tired, he thought to take rest under a tree. He heard a loud cry shouting to rob his jewels and horse. Jewels means jewelry. There was a loud cry which was shouting, and that cry was to rob, to get all the jewels, jewelry and the horse of king. The king got shocked, and he was afraid of that voice. So he quickly got onto his horse and rode away from that side of the forest, because as soon as he heard the voice of that bird who was shouting very loudly to rob the king's jewels and horse, he heard some haunted noises from the cave which was near that tree. So he quickly got onto his horse and rode away from that side of the forest. Soon means very early, he came to a clearing which looked like an ashram. Means very soon, it was not very long time, he came to a place which looked like an ashram. That was a very peaceful place. The tired king, because he has been riding a horse for a long time, when he rode from the cave of robbers. He got tired, and he again decided to take rest under a tree. There was a bird who was sitting on the tree under which the king decided to take rest. That bird welcomed him in a gentle voice. His voice was very noble. He was welcoming the king. The king was amazed. Amazed means the king was surprised. The king got surprised to hear a similar voice again, because the same voice he had heard near robber's cave, which was crying loudly to rob the king's jewels and his horse. So he got amazed to hear the similar voice which was welcoming him at the second place. He came to know the bird's true story. Means there were two birds. One was near robber's cave and the other one was near Rishi's ashram. The king came to know the true story of both the birds. Now, from where he came to know the true story of both he met the rishi who explained the behavior of each bird. Means after some time the rishi arrived, as he had gone earlier somewhere. When the rishi arrived, the king explained everything to rishi. Then rishi explained the king that how the company of each bird affected his or her behavior. And the rishi said, one is known by the company one keeps. The two birds behaved according to the environment in which they lived, because our company decides our behavior. This is upon us that in which company do we want to live. The company that we choose for us, that company affects our behavior, and we start behaving according to that. So that was the explanation of rishi to the king. Now I am going to explain you lesson 4, adjectives of grammar. First of all, the question is, what are adjectives? Describing words are called adjectives. They are so called because they add something to the meaning of a noun. Describing word. Now that describing word can be of anything. For example, red bottle. Now bottle is a noun. The word which is describing bottle is red. Black hair, grey hair, yellow t-shirt, green plants, many leaves, a little water. So here all the nouns, there are many nouns in the words which I spoke just right now. The words which are describing those nouns, for example, little water. So little is a describing word, that is an adjective. Little will be your adjective of quantity. Yellow t-shirt. Yellow will be descriptive adjective. My house. My will be possessive adjective. Whose books. Whose will be possessive adjective. Interrogative adjective. And if I say this pencil, then this will be your demonstrative adjective. Now I'll explain you each and every kind of adjective one by one. There are 5 kinds of adjectives. Number 1, adjectives of quantity or number. Number 2, demonstrative adjective. Number 3, adjectives of quality. Number 4, interrogative adjectives. And last but not the least, possessive adjectives. Number 1, adjectives of quality. The adjectives which tell us of what kind a person or thing is are called adjectives of quality. Since they describe a person or thing, they are also called descriptive adjectives. So, if we say adjectives of quality or descriptive adjectives, the thing is same. If I say Hamid was a great soldier, so the word great is an adjective which tells us what kind of soldier Hamid was. Adjective of quality answer the question of what kind. For example, there is a big doll, or he is a tall man. Which kind of man is he? So if we get the answer of what kind, then that is adjectives of quality. Number 2 is adjectives of quantity or number. Adjectives which tell us how many or how much are called adjectives of quantity or number. If I say there is little hope of victory, so there is how much hope of victory. Here we are getting the answer of how much. If I say 5 boys came down the street, means how many boys. Here we are getting the answer of how many. So if we get the answer of how many or how much, those are called adjectives of quantity. Next is demonstrative adjective. Adjectives that point out a noun are called demonstrative adjectives. For example, look at that tree. What is that girl writing? So here we are getting the answer of question which. Wherever we get the answer of which, that is called demonstrative adjectives. These adjectives are this, that, these, those, such. If these words are used with any noun, it means these are demonstrative adjectives and giving us the answer of which. Now I am going to explain you lesson 4, adjectives of grammar. First of all, the question is what are adjectives? Describing words are called adjectives. They are so called because they add something to the meaning of a noun. Describing word. Now that describing word can be of anything. For example, red bottle. Now bottle is a noun. The word which is describing bottle is red. Black hair, grey hair, yellow t-shirt, green plants, many leaves, a little water. So here all the nouns, there are many nouns in the words which I spoke just right now. The words which are describing those nouns, for example, little water. So little is a describing word, that is an adjective. Little will be your adjective of quantity. Yellow t-shirt, yellow will be descriptive adjective. My house, my will be possessive adjective. Whose books, whose will be possessive adjective, interrogative adjective. And if I say this pencil, then this will be your demonstrative. Next is possessive adjectives. Adjectives my, your, his, her, its, our, their, that show possession of the noun following it are called possessive adjective. It means when a noun is used after these words my, your, his, her, its, are, their, then these words will become possessive adjectives. And here we get the answer of whose a thing is, because these words show belongingness or possession, state of being, possession, state of being, of belongingness. And these are 7 in number. You can count: my, your, his, her, its, are, their. And here we get the answer of whose. So this is possessive adjectives. Now our next topic is degrees of adjectives. There are 3 degrees of adjectives: positive, comparative, and superlative degree. Number 1 is positive degree. The simple form of adjective is called the positive degree. For example, beautiful. Next is comparative degree. For comparison of 2 objects or persons, we use the comparative form of the adjective. We call more beautiful the comparative degree of beautiful. Generally, we use than, THAN, to compare 2 persons or 2 objects. For example, Sita is more beautiful than her sister. Or we can say he is taller than me. Radhika is more intelligent than her brother. So when we compare 2 persons or 2 things, we use than, THAN, to compare 2 persons or things. And there we use comparative degree of adjective. Superlative degree. When we compare more than 2 objects or persons, we use the superlative degree, as most beautiful is the superlative degree of beautiful. Generally we use the, THE, to compare more than 2 objects or persons. For example, if I say she is the most beautiful girl in the class, or this is the most beautiful building in this area, then we use superlative degree of adjective in such cases. For example, Antarctica is one of the coldest places on earth. The Nile is the longest river in the world. When we are comparing more than 2 objects or persons, we use superlative degree. Next is lesson 19, paraphrasing and summary. Now the question is, what is paraphrasing? Paraphrasing is presentation of essential information and ideas expressed by someone else in one's own words. It is usually done to simplify the original piece. Now we need to keep the following points in our mind while paraphrasing. First of all, reread the original passage until you understand its full meaning. Then write that in your own words. Compare your paraphrase with the original one to make sure that your version contains all the essential information in a new form. Use quotation marks in the paraphrase to identify any term or phrase borrowed exactly from the original one, because sometimes there are few data that we cannot change into our own words. In such cases, you need to use quotation marks if you are writing as it is. Something you are noting down as it is given in original piece, then you will use quotation marks. The approach of 4 R's should be used while paraphrasing. 4 R's is number 1, reword. Reword means replace words and phrases with synonyms with similar meanings wherever you can. Wherever you know that, like if large is given, you can write tall. You can use your own words. You can write their synonyms. You know the similar meanings are the synonyms. So you can replace words and phrases with synonyms wherever you can. Rearrange words within sentences to make new sentences. You can even rearrange ideas presented within a paragraph. Means you can rearrange. First line can be written at last line can be written at first place, but that should make some sense. That should not be jumbled. Next topic is summary writing. The word summary is derived from the Latin word sum. When you write a summary, you reduce the length of the original text, a story, an article, or a poem, and write a new piece in your own words. That gives the essence of the original piece. Means when you sum up the things, when you give a small description of something, that is called a summary. Now, the size of summary should always be smaller than the original piece that is provided to you. Say it be article, say it be story, or any of the poem. You cannot write as it is wording as it is given in the question. Features of a summary. A summary starts with a clear identification of the type of work, title, author, and main point in the present tense. See, if there is an article, you can write the complete paragraphs, complete summary in present tense. If there is any poem and there is a point that you cannot draft in your past tense, then you can write it in present tense. But if there is any story, then it is a compulsion to write that particular story in past tense only. But you have to begin your story with a title, and if the name of the writer is given, you need to write the same name. You cannot change that. And after that, you can write your summary of story in past tense. It covers the important points of the original article. Phrases such as the article claims, the author suggests, etc. are periodically used while writing a summary, as one's own ideas, opinions, and interpretations are never put in a summary. Here, you will write article claims or the author suggests. You cannot write I think it should be like that, because your opinion doesn't matter here. Here you need to write the same thing. Means the essence should be there. Essence of article or story or the poem should be there. You cannot write your own opinion or your own interpretation or your own ideas. You need to just sum up the things. You just need to give a brief description of whatever given in the original piece. Now, how to write a summary? Read the article to be summarized and be sure you understand it. If you don't understand it, read it again and again. Outline the article, note the major points. Write a first draft of the summary without looking at the article. Make sure that you have the major points in your draft. For this, you can underline the main points in the original piece. Always use paraphrase while writing a summary. Means to shorten up your article, you can use paraphrase. If you do copy a phrase from the original, be sure that it is important phrase that is necessary and cannot be paraphrased. For example, there can be dates, there can be name of author or something like that. In this case, you have to use quotation marks around the phrase that you are copying down as it is. Target your first draft for approximately 1/4 the length of the original. Of course, as I told you, while writing a summary, you cannot write the as it is things which are given in original piece. You need to make a brief description, a small description of that. Any extra information and unnecessary details should be deleted from the summary, especially your interpretation or the things which are not necessary in the story or in the summary that you need to delete. Now, this is the time to assign you homework. Kindly solve the assignment based on lesson 1, A Tale of Two Birds, of A Pact with the Sun, and lesson 4, Adjectives, lesson 19, Paraphrasing and Summary Writing of Grammar, uploaded in homework column on EdQuark site in your fair register that you need to mail me also, and the solution of the same assignment will be uploaded on the very next day. Now, this is the time to discuss previous homework which was assigned in previous class. The question was, put a or an or the in the following sets of sentences. Put a cross if no article is required. Number 1. My brother is dash dentist, a dentist. My mother has gone to the dentist. Now in the second sentence, dentist has become known to us. Now the dentist is known to us. That's why we have used the. My friend Amit is looking for a job these days. A job which is unknown to Amit. That's why we have used a. The Jewel is not a good restaurant. Let's go to the best restaurant in the town, the Sapphire. A dog is a faithful animal. The dog makes a better pet than the cat. Here, the dog and the cat in the second sentence represent the whole society, the whole class of dogs and cats. That's why the has been used. Hope you have checked your homework, cross-checked your homework from here. Thank you so much.